Different Joe. Episode 120. It's your boy Larry, and it's the Different Juice podcast. We talk about it all: sports, music, and just anything else that you can possibly think of. World events, what's going on with Donald Trump, what freaking going on in other countries, laws, anything else you can possibly think of, politics. Tune in. It's a one-stop shop. And if your cut's not from Cut Fiend, it's fucking trash. And one last shout out my boy Rod, Excellence brand. Go check it out. I'll tag him in one of these clips. But yes, sir, Rod the God. Different Juice, episode 20, and this one we will be talking about some NBA stuff today. First, I want to start with the Jimmy Butler debacle in Miami. I understand. I get Jimmy. I get his perspective. I understand why he's tight. They never got him any help. He's been asking for help all these years, and Miami hasn't done nothing. Pat Riley has surrounded him with nothing. They should have gotten Dame, but Trailblazers wanted to be weirdos and send him to the Bucks. That was the only thing that was really going to help that whole Miami situation. And honestly, they could have won a chip. But Dame and Jimmy Butler could have brought a chip to Miami with Bam. But depending on what Miami had to give up, obviously they weren't keeping Tyler Hero and stuff. But I guess they just didn't have the capital at the time for it. This is all Miami's fault, in my opinion. A little bit of Jimmy, obviously can handle it better, but Miami, you gotta. They don't care about their superstars. That's what I've come to realize. Miami is kind of they're good. Their coaching staff is good, but their GM is shit. And how they run. I still can't even say that they're making the playoffs every year, but if they had some sort of urgency or better management, they would have won a chip by now. In my opinion, they would have definitely won a chip. Jimmy Butler brought him there with Eric Spoelstra and a whole bunch of nobodies. Well, I can't say that, has some good players. Gabe Vincent was great for them, and a whole bunch of other players that just came out of nowhere that they just find out of nowhere and just make it work and still happen. And what are they? I believe they're like 7th. They're 6th in the East right now. Miami is 6th in the East right now. And a lot of those games were without Jimmy. So, they got a great coaching staff over there. But you gotta get your superstars help. When your superstars constantly asking for help, you gotta get them the help, man. And they failed Jimmy with that one. But now, I'm just gonna move on to my top destinations for Jimmy. I would say, well, these are my landing spots. These are my top landing spots for Jimmy Butler. Obviously, I'd love to see him in LA, baby. He gotta come to LA. That'd be great. I really would like the Lakers to, I don't mean to jump around, but just since we're on the topic of LA, Anthony Davis recently talking about how we need a 5. I agree. We could use the 5, just like how he was using the examples back in the day with the 2019-2020 team, where we won the chip. We had Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee with Anthony Davis running the 4. AD looked good. He hit the big shot in Denver over, I want to say it was Jokic, but I can't remember exactly who it was. But AD does play his best when he's at the 4, and he has a solid 5 next to him. Look what he was doing in New Orleans when they had DeMarcus Cousins before he went down with the Achilles injury. Hey, you gotta keep your superstars happy. If your superstar like Anthony Davis is saying he plays better and is more comfortable with a solid 5 next to him, I don't know why LA doesn't get that 5 next to him. Like, stop forcing him to play a position that he's not really happy playing, because that's just going to ultimately force him out the door, and you're not going to get the best result out of him. Okay, granted, he's 6'11", 7-footer, and he should be able to play the 5, but he's not really a 5. He can bang down low and stuff, but if he feels like he's not really a 5, then it's not going to work like that. It's not going to work. The players have to buy into their position and what they feel is best for them. But that's just me. I would like to see Jimmy Butler in LA. That'd be great. Lakers were just talking about how they're a few pieces away. What few pieces those are, I don't know. Jimmy Butler would definitely help. It definitely puts us in that conversation for championship, but we might need a little more, and we don't really have any assets to give up. But that's just my wishful thinking. Would love to see Jimmy in LA, but and then I wouldn't mind him seeing in Denver in the Nuggets with freaking Murray, Porter, and them, and Aaron Gordon, Westbrook. Jimmy Butler, I think he would fit right in. Jimmy Butler, plug him in right there with Denver. That's definitely 100% a championship team. Jokic, MVP candidate. I mean, I don't see the issue with it. I would love to see it, but again, that's if this organization wants to even make that move, but I highly doubt that will happen. Next will be the Warriors, and these are in no order at all. The Warriors, Jimmy Butler going to Golden State 100% play with Steph. That'd be great. Get Steph that number 2 option, help him out a little bit. I mean, I don't know if there's any saving this season because granted, freaking they're 11th in the West, could possibly make the playoffs if they go on some crazy run. And health, obviously, granted. But Jimmy Butler with Steph Curry, yes, you got to get Steph that second option. I mean, what they got over there isn't really cutting it. Clearly, how many games they got? 22 games. And I mean, separating the 7th seed to the 11th seed is like about right now as I'm recording this, it's like 3 to 4 games. I mean, it's possible. If you're going to stay, I'd be looking to make that call. I know Phoenix was in talks. I personally wouldn't like him going to Phoenix. I mean, I don't really see them doing much over there. I mean, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. What else? What else they gonna give up? And how much more does freaking Phoenix need? Bradley Beal. What more do they need? I mean, what are they? They're 8th in the West right now, 24, 20, and 21. I mean, those guys should be able to figure it out. I mean, what more does Phoenix need? Next, I would like to see him with the Bucks. The Bucks would be smooth. Him, Dame, Giannis, that'd be smooth. I like it over there. Obviously you'd probably have to get rid of Chris Middleton, but Chris Middleton hasn't really been that guy like that as he was in years past. So replace Middleton with Jimmy Butler. You got a nice little 3 over there. Dame, Butler, and Giannis. I mean, Dame and Butler they come together in Milwaukee instead of Miami, and with Giannis. That's great. I like that. That's pretty smooth. That is pretty smooth. Last, I would like to see him with the Dallas Mavericks. I would like to see him pair him up like a little trio with Kyrie, Luka, and Jimmy. That'd be solid. That would be solid. They're definitely a championship contention team. But it's like, again, what pieces do they give up though? I don't know. They could make it work somehow. And the Mavs are right now 25 and 22. I don't know. No clue. But Jimmy Butler, yeah, man, that's all Miami's fault right there, dude. He definitely should have handled it better. Miami, they're definitely gonna possibly have a hard time keeping and gaining stars. Maybe not, but the players again should definitely are gonna be like noticing how they treat their players, like D Wade, Bron, just in the past, dudes, and Jimmy Butler now. You bring them to the whole finals, you give the whole organization blood, sweat, and tears, and then they just treat you like shit. Don't really just being cheap, and you think Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero aren't taking notice, and they're definitely talking to Jimmy. But moving on from Miami and their debacle, I think LaMelo Ball was 100% snubbed from being an all-star starter. LaMelo Ball is averaging 28 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. In my opinion, he definitely is a starter over Jalen Brunson. That's just me, though. Jalen Brunson is good, dude. He's good, but I feel like this is part of the NBA's problem right here, like why they're losing viewership. Like, LaMelo Ball is clearly the more exciting player. Like, just give him the starter position. I don't know. That's just me, dude. LaMelo Ball and Jalen Brunson, he's averaging 25, 2 rebounds, 7 assists. I mean, Melo's averaging 3 more points and 3 more rebounds. They got the same amount of assists, but the Knicks, if you want to talk record, the Knicks are 31 and 16, and then the Hornets are 12 and 31. So if if you want to talk about winning, I get it. That's why he's a starter over him. But for that guard position, I'm going LaMelo Ball, dude. And LaMelo Ball got to be probably my favorite player in the NBA right now than freaking Lonzo. Because, like, all my favorites, like freaking KD and Steph, they getting older. And I'm trying to just get on with the new wave. But, yeah, LaMelo Ball 100% snubbed. I mean, I guess if you want to go by record wise, I get it. I don't know, but LaMelo Ball should 100% be over Jalen Brunson for that Eastern starter position, in my opinion. That honestly just, it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense, especially if he won the fan vote and all that. I guess they was talking about, I think it was just the one of the votes he didn't get. I believe it was the media vote or something like that, where it's just crazy how all of a sudden he just doesn't become the starter. But they're doing him dirty, I think, in my opinion. But he's got to get out of Charlotte. He's got to go to a bigger market. I would love to, obviously, love to take him in LA, but he's got to get to a bigger market than what they're doing in Charlotte. Because clearly his whole career is going to be like this, freaking getting snubbed and not really getting recognized and considered for stuff if he stays right with them boys. Because they're not building. They're not a serious organization. Not building around him like that. Let's talk about the league leaders right now as of January 28th. We got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 1 with 32 a game. Giannis Antetokounmpo at 31 a game. Number 2. Number 3, Nikola Jokic at 30 points a game. And number 4, LaMelo Ball, 28 points per game. 4th in the league in scoring. Like, I don't understand how you're 4th in the league in scoring. And literally, that's literally the first Eastern Conference guard that's in the top 5 in scoring. You're telling me he's not a starter, dude? Oh my gosh, LaMelo Ball is literally 4th in the league in scoring, and you're telling me he's not an Eastern All-Star starter? Get out of here, dude. It doesn't make any sense. Number 5, Kevin Durant at 27 a game. Jason Tatum at 26. Tyrese Maxey at 26, Anthony Davis at 26, Ant Edwards at 26, and Jalen Brunson at 25. All right, he's top 10 in scoring, Jalen Brunson. I get it, but still, dude, LaMelo Ball 100% should have been starting over him. And I think the only reason why Brunson is starting over him is because of the record. It's the only thing that makes sense. That's the only thing that makes sense. But those are your top 10 leading scorers right now in the league right now. Shai Gilgeous, MVP season, beautiful. Called it last year. Well, not called it, but he was my dark horse for MVP last season. I believe he came in second before Jokic. He possibly is going to get it this year. Their record right now, 37-8, looking good. They might win the chip. No bullshit. They're freaking all meshing together. And that'd be another interesting spot for Jimmy Butler to go to OKC. You know, nice little veteran presence. He's been to the finals, helped them overcome that hump. Freaking win that chip, possibly. I don't know. But yeah, no, but that, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis, and Jokic, another MVP candidate. Denver, 4th seed. I want to move on to these conference seedings. Let's go to the Eastern Conference first. Number 1, we got the Cavs. I don't know how I really feel about Cleveland. I don't know if they're a serious threat in the playoffs. I mean, granted, they're good right now, 37-9, but are they really? Do you guys really believe in them? I don't know. Number 2, the reigning champs, Boston Celtics. Obviously, you can't count them out. You know, freaking reigning champs. They're obviously a championship contender, I would say, no matter what. Number 3, Knicks. Yeah, I kind of believe in them in the playoffs. I would bank more on the Knicks in the playoffs than the Cavs, in my opinion. Bucks. I mean, Dame and Giannis just had 35 apiece the other night. They're looking good. I mean, maybe if they can get Jimmy Butler, maybe they're in that championship contention. But I can see him making some noise in the playoffs. Nothing crazy. 5th seed Pacers, nothing. I don't really see them doing anything. Miami, I don't know. Oh my gosh. Every year Miami is making it with nobodies, yo. Orlando Magic. Yes, sir. Magic, baby, number 7. And 8 Pistons. Oof. And number 9 Hawks. Shout out Wells. Hawks, you got to make the playoffs this year, man. Y'all can't let the Pistons freaking keep that 8th spot. Y'all got to just find a way. Atlanta, find a way. Find a way, Atlanta. Find a way. You guys have much more talent than the Pistons. You guys should be having more talent than the Pistons. Y'all been together longer. Find a way, Atlanta. There's no more excuses. There's no more excuses with the Hawks, man. Y'all need to just blow this up or freaking, I don't know. Figure it out, Atlanta, because this is getting ridiculous at this point. But yeah, I'm just going to go through the first 8 seeds right now. And then next, Western Conference 1 through 8. Number 1, like I said, Thunder 37-8. That's my championship favorite right now. As of January 28th, that's where I'm going. OKC championship favorite. Number 2, we got the Rockets 31-14. I don't believe in Houston. I don't think Dylan Brooks is really that guy. I know he just had 10 threes the other night against Boston with the Amin Thompson with the game winner, but I don't believe in Houston. I believe in the number 3 seed, the Grizzlies, more than I believe in Houston. Yes. That is 100% facts. And I believe in the 4th seed more than I believe in Houston, the Nuggets. And I believe in the 5th seed, the Lakers, more than I believe in the Rockets. And the Clippers 6th seed, 26-20. Lakers 5th seed, 26-18. Nuggets 28-18. Grizzlies 31-16. Rockets 31-14. All those teams below the Rockets that I just listed, I would even say the Clippers too, maybe the Clippers, and maybe even the Timberwolves too, like, and maybe even the Suns. Yo, I feel like Houston's a fraudulent 2 seed. I don't care. Crucify me. And if the Mavs can fuck around and get freaking into the playoffs, yo, if I'm Houston, I don't know, man. Yo, I'll freaking eat my words if I'm wrong, but I believe Houston, that's a fraudulent 2 seed right there, man. We'll definitely see in the playoffs, but I don't believe in them. In their conference, they're 19-9, 15-7 at home, 16-7 away. They're on a 3-game win streak as this day, January 28th. 8-2 their last 10. Solid. But come playoff time, I don't know. The Rockets could be in play for Jimmy Butler. I don't see why they wouldn't go after him too. But hey, I don't believe in Houston. That's a fraudulent number 2 team right there, in my opinion, at least. And now let's just shift over to what I think the biggest problem in the NBA is and why the viewership is going down. We haven't spoke about it in the pod, but let's get into that. So as y'all know, there's been a lot of talk with the NBA viewership declining and just all this, people losing interest and, blah, 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 blah. NBA ain't the same. I'm going to give my thoughts on it. In my opinion, like with me, I feel like the game, it's got to get more physical. I think the game definitely has to get more physical. I think the refs have to let these dudes play. I think we need to, obviously to a certain extent, not freaking be hurting dudes out there, but we got to let the defense, we got to have a more defensive presence being felt. Like when you're watching the game, in my opinion, we got to let the guys be able to get their, be able to show and exert their energy. And even on the offensive side, you got to, I even think, I wasn't a big fan. Let them talk shit, let them taunt, more, let the guys be themselves, instead of just kind of constrict them and have them in this shell of just always having to be careful, on defense, fouling somebody too hard because it's gonna be a flagrant and they're gonna freaking end up getting suspended or fined or blah 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 blah. I think we got to get back to have the audience be able to feel the game more while they're watching it. I don't know, Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors did that for me, back in the day, with Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and just the shooting and just their great ball movement. And it was just something new, a new up-and-coming team, youngster coming through, taking over the league. The golden years, the golden days, whatever you want to call it. And just that might have hindered the NBA too. Everybody's trying to be the Warriors now, all of a sudden, freaking shooting threes. They just had the most 3-pointers in a game, most made in a game just recently, and most missed 3-pointers in a game recently. Each team gotta have their own identity. It's this copycat stuff of everybody trying to be Golden State, trying to shoot up as much threes. The reason why they're doing that is because they seen that Golden State was so dominant doing that And like no matter what super team you formed against them, and once they got Kevin Durant, it was a wrap over that. But a lot of teams feel like they had to leave their identity and try and beat fire with fire instead of just being themselves. Like I was thinking like the other day, like the Memphis Grizzlies with Zach Randolph, Marc Gasol, Mike Conley and them, like back in the day with Tony Allen, it was a grit and grind city, yo. Like that like we got to get more back to that, like with their identity, like Lakers back in the day with the triangle offense. You knew the Lakers were going to run that triangle offense, and that was their identity with Kobe, freaking just relentless ball, freaking Kobe's going to come at you, killer mentality. Steve Nash with the Phoenix Suns with Amari Stoudemire and them, they had their own like little flair of ball. Let me see. Miami with Bron back in the day. That was an exciting, different offense. Tim Duncan with the Spurs. They definitely played different ball. Each team got to have their own identity, I feel like, and it's just all become the same product. And it's just getting saturated in a sense, I guess. Gotta bring back, I feel like gotta just bring back that physical defense and just let each team have their own like identity. And Houston Rockets, for example, even though I hated it, Houston and James Harden, them, that was that ISO ball and they're the ones too, like freaking chucking up 3-pointers every game too. Freaking James Harden with that ISO ball trying to get all them fouls at the free throw line, waiting for niggas fucking come to him and then fucking shoot the ball. Freaking going at the top of the key, just waiting for somebody to bump into him and act like he taking a jumper. They gotta have that. That was his identity. That was different than what other teams were doing back in the day. And then even Kyrie with the Cavs and Bron and them, that was a different style team. That was a great team. They got Bron freaking driving in, kick out, bango. Kyrie Irving with doing Kyrie Irving stuff. They had an identity. That was it's like they played different, but every team right now just keep trying to chuck the threes because they think that's what's gonna work. Every team gotta have their own identity and just stop trying to copy what the Golden State Warriors were doing when they were on that dominant run. I mean, I get it. Like, they won championships doing it. They were freaking 73-9, freaking breaking all these freaking records and shit. But you gotta be yourself, man. You gotta literally be yourself, because it's not enjoyable to watch every team thinking that they're the Warriors and thinking every team has a Steph Curry or Klay Thompson. The reason why the Warriors were able to do that is because they had the best shooters literally of all time. We're never going to see nothing like that again. We may see it like that again because everybody want to fucking shoot, but we're not going to see nothing like that again for a while. But with that being said, man, Different Juice, episode 120. Thank you for tuning in. It's your boy Larry. Talk about it all. Sports, music, politics, world events, anything else you can think of. If you got an episode idea, just comment below. Shout out again to Rod, Excellence brand. Go get your gear. Support my man, Rod Excellence. I'll tag him in one of the clips below. Different Juice. If your cut's not from Cuffing, it's fucking trash. Different Juice, episode 120. Your boy Larry. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, sir.